What's up, bub? I'm here in a new basement trying to do a review. I know that this setup's not nearly as good as the old one. You know, my giant poster wall. This is going to do for now. I'll do a video later showing why I don't have a regular setup because I moved and stuff. So, still getting settled in. And this is my Wolverine hair. I know, it looks better when it's more wet, but honestly it just dries up so fast. Let's move on. Wolverine is directed by James Mangold and stars Hugh Jackman. He was Wolverine way back in the original X-Men 2000. That's 13 years ago, and this guy owns the role still. He's still awesome. He's still just as good as he ever was. But this might be his finest hour as Wolverine, because in the original X-Men trilogy, it was about all the X-Men, but it's still mostly focused on Wolverine. But X-Men 3 was a piece of crap. It was a crap movie, and then X-Men Origins Wolverine tried to focus on him, but then suddenly tries to work in, oh look, it's a shitty version of Gambit, and oh look at all this crap. Oh look, it's Baraka from Mortal Kombat, what we'll call him Deadpool. And that was trash. He wasn't even in First Class, but now we get the standalone Wolverine movie that's all about Wolverine and does it right. This standalone Wolverine movie actually does it right. You get Wolverine, you get that berserker rage that you got in like basically one scene in X-Men 2 when those SWAT guys were in the mansion or whatever, when he was just berserker rage killing them. You get that pretty much this whole movie, and I loved it. This movie, fantastic. This movie takes place after X-Men 3, and Wolverine's still kind of a little messed up, haunted by having to kill Jean Grey, who was the love of his life. He has nightmares about it every night. He's tortured. He's living up in the mountains, and doesn't want to be the Wolverine anymore. But then an offer from someone he met way back in the Hiroshima days that he saved. That was an awesome scene, by the way. That person offers to make him normal and get rid of his healing factor so he can die rather than be tortured his whole life. And then you get a lot of Wolverine without healing ability, some real tension, he might die the whole time, and some awesome berserker rage Wolverine kicking ass. Japan, you get that whole samurai type feel that was popular in some of the comics. Because originally they were going to do the backstory of him as like the samurai, which is a big thing in the comics, but instead they just kind of did it here. I loved it. This movie's fantastic. James Mangold, the guy that made Walk the Line, my god, I'm so happy they picked him. Because most of the X-Men movies, they get good directors. Bryan Singer, who made The Usual Suspects, really good choice. Matthew Vaughn, great choice. X-Men 3, they got Brett Ratner, that was a terrible choice, and we got a terrible movie. And Origins Wolverine, the script was bad. I don't really know who Gavin Hood was anyway, so yeah. But James Mangold almost reminds me of like Sam Mendes getting picked for Skyfall, a really good looking action movie that has a lot of good drama in it too. Hugh Jackman, he's the highlight of this movie. He is Wolverine, okay? Way back in 2000 they made the right choice by not picking Dougray Scott and picking Hugh Jackman, because he owns this. He's shredded as shit. My god, that man's just walking muscles. And the berserker rage Wolverine is like the best thing ever to see him just go nuts and slash gut people. You get blood, okay? The other X-Men movies were afraid to have blood because like Wolverine would gut people and there'd be no blood. They're afraid of blood in PG-13. You can have it as long as it's not like graphic, like he stabs someone in the gut and their intestines fall out of their ears. It's okay. It's good to see like blood on the claws, berserker rage Wolverine. That is a highlight. And a little side off, it's not even PG-13 here in Canada because we have a better rating system, so it's actually 14A. But that's just a little bit of, hey, if you live in Canada, the more you know. The rest of the cast, pretty good. The character of Yukio, she's the one with like the reddish hair. I liked her in the first couple scenes. I was like, but she immediately turned into a real badass, and I liked her. She had a really good character in the movie, very developed. You get a lot about her. She was pretty damn cool. There's also like a Japanese Hawkeye. He's just running around doing all kinds of parkour, and he's got an arrow, and I just thought, okay, we got Green Arrow, Hawkeye, now this guy, come on. But it's okay, I didn't mind him. He was fun. You get some other characters that are pretty good. My only gripe about all the characters is the character Viper. She's, I guess, sort of the main villain. I'm sorry, when you remind me of Poison Ivy from Batman and Robin, you're doing something wrong. Not to say she was as campy or bad as her, but it's just, she reminded me of her, and she wasn't that great. I mean, she honestly, like, could have been removed from the movie way earlier than she was, and I wouldn't have cared. She wasn't that good. And she was also the only thing, besides one other villain that I'm not going to talk about, because I don't want to spoil it, but the other two villains that felt almost too comic booky for this movie, because this movie is really serious, actually. I mean, you get Wolverine running around, but it's like a serious drama with Wolverine in it. And I like that tone, and then at the end, last 20 minutes or so, gets a little more comic booky than the rest of the movie was. I didn't mind it. It's an X-Men movie. I mean, come on. You gotta have Wolverine have a comic book type fight, so I didn't mind it. The action scenes of this movie are fantastic. They look really good. A lot of good CGI, even though there's not that much of it. But particularly a train fight, oh my god, that was awesome. And the end fight I won't talk about. I'll do a spoiler review so I can get into it. It's just the last little bit of the movie, a little too comic booky, and kind of got, not silly, but just felt like something out of a different movie than what we got the rest. But I still enjoyed it. It was still really enjoyable and entertaining. I really like this movie. The best Wolverine movie we'll ever get, unless Days of Future Past is awesome, because, oh boy, they set something up for that movie in the credits. I'll talk about that in the spoiler review, but I'll give the Wolverine an A-. Really good movie. Hugh Jackman, he is the Wolverine. No one can ever take it from him. It's Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark level. He owns this role. They can't reboot it or nothing. They can never replace him almost, because he's just too good. So if you like this review, like, subscribe, comment below, and tell me what you thought of the movie, and I'll see you guys next time when I do the spoiler review of the Wolverine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.